Hi, Sherwood Neiss. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Welcome to Montreal as part of the iCanada Summit event today, October 21st. And Sherwood, you will be speaking about Invest Crowdfund, the movement that you've been leading for the past year. For those who don't know, Sherwood Neiss is the instigator of the Jobs Act, and we are so proud to have him among us today in Montreal.
Well, thank you, Diana.
Please lead us through the movement and what you've accomplished till this day, Sherwood. We'd love to hear it.
Well, it's great to be here, Diana. Realized is the need for capital is an important one, and it's not just something that big businesses need, but something that small businesses globally need. It's something that here in Canada is very important if we want to stir entrepreneurship and innovation. And that's where crowdfund investing steps in, because it allows you to come together as a community and pool your resources together to help someone with an idea bring that idea to fruition. So you're going to come in not just with money, but with an active voice, because you're going to have a vested interest in the success of that business. So we're going to see a transformation in the financial markets where people are becoming an active participant in their community businesses.
So you're speaking about investors, you and I, everyone who's interested in an idea that they could put their money and buy equity in a company through a web platform. Is that what Invest Crowdfund is about?
Exactly. So what's going to happen is someone that has an idea is going to pitch their idea, and in the US they're going to pitch it on a Securities and Exchange Commission registered website, so this is all regulated.
Right.
And first they're going to have to go through a background check to make sure that they haven't committed any fraud. And provided that they have a clean slate, their pitch can go up on that platform. And from that platform, that's where the social media integration takes place. So when you put your pitch up there, you're going to integrate your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Google+, any of your friends that you have in your social network into the pitch page. And then you're going to click on your Facebook button, for instance.
Right.
And go out and tell your friends that, hey, I've got an idea for a business, come to my pitch page, take a look at it and see if you think it's something that you'd like to get behind. If you do want to fund it, and if I hit 100% of my funding target, then I can launch my business and you'll own a piece of the pie.
So the Jobs Act, it's all part of it, right? And when do you think American investors can start contributing to the economy that way?
So there's two parts to what's happening in the United States. There's going to be crowdfunding for accredited investors that's going to start before the end of 2012. And then there's crowdfunding for unaccredited investors that'll start in probably Q3 2013.
What's the difference between both, Sherwood?
So an accredited investor is someone who has a net worth, a liquid net worth of $1 million or makes over $200,000 a year for the past 2 years.
I see.
An unaccredited investor is essentially anyone else. If you look at statistics in the United States, we have 6 million accredited investors in the U.S. The rest of the U.S., 99% of the population, is considered unaccredited. However, that doesn't mean that they aren't investing in the public markets, because they actually are. Over 50% of Americans own stocks in the public markets.
I see. So they're already trained to assess a company that's worth investing in.
Right. It's part of our culture to take our savings and allocate it into stocks, bonds, savings itself. This is just an add-on. This is really a new asset class that we are delivering to the public markets to allow people that have a diversified portfolio to take a small part of their portfolio and say that I'm willing to put some money into a very high-risk form of investing. Nothing changes. Startups and small businesses have a high failure rate. So it's very important to believe in the product or service when you're investing in it, so that you're going in with your eyes wide open.
And can I also add that there's this proximity element that comes with Invest Crowdfunding, right? Because the investor who has no prior experience in investing in a company could actually ping the business owner, have a conversation with him, right? Ask questions. Have other platforms done that before?
This is going to be taking that to the next level. If you look at donation-based or perks-based crowdfunding that we're seeing today, it's people with art-related ideas or pre-ordering product that are going out to a community and saying, help me fund my idea. Crowdfund investing sort of takes it to the next level, which says, if you reside in my community and you see the benefit of starting an organic farm-to-table farm, or help me expand my dry cleaner, then you can come in and own a piece of that dry cleaner. But the thing that's going to change most is we're going to have these entrepreneurs going to their investors and forming groups. people that can help them with sales, people that can help them with marketing, people that can help them with finance and accounting. And they're going to be teams, believe it or not, that come together to rally around an entrepreneur and share knowledge and experience.
Oh, this is all exciting. We have a collective spirit. When I hear you speak of it, it's all a collective movement that might arise from that and benefit from the community as a whole. As far as Canada is concerned, we're watching your success very closely, because we hope that crowdfunding will come to Canada, equity crowdfunding, that is. And what advice would you give us at Invest Crowdfund Canada to better circulate the news on the benefits of equity crowdfunding?
Well, I'll tell you what worked for us, and everything's different everywhere. So we showed up with a solution. We didn't show up to Washington, D.C. to complain about a problem. So having a framework that was a starting point for a discussion, it wasn't the silver bullet, I think lended a lot of credibility to our cause. It also helped that we were the people that created the jobs. And Washington, D.C. wasn't familiar with people that weren't lobbyists showing up in their doors. So if this is something that you're passionate about, or someone else that you know and love is passionate about, step up and play an active role in the process, because things don't happen of their own accord. They happen because we get behind them. So it's going to take a community of people, it's going to take a framework to get it done, and it's just going to take the initiative to put behind it. So I think if the Canadian movement, and I'm seeing a tremendous organization up here, which I love, can come together, I think we can get your provinces to understand the benefit of what we are trying to do here for Canada.
Absolutely, I agree. Not only will it create economic development for those startups that have problems with assembling funds through VCs or whatnot, it might be an alternative method of financing, and not to mention creating jobs and boosting up the innovation index that we sort of missed out on in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that's so important. You hit the nail on the head. Startups and small businesses have been responsible globally for getting societies, countries globally out of recessions. The thing that was different from this recession to prior recessions is there was no capital in the markets to allow them to do what they needed to do to create the jobs to get us out of the recession. What crowdfund investing does, and you'll have to excuse me because this is so provincial, but it allows the community to step in where Wall Street has stepped out. So where your big, it doesn't matter, it's not Wall Street, but it's where your big banking sectors aren't coming into the community to provide the capital, you can now go to those people that already have the money, that live in those communities, and say, let's pool our resources together. This isn't new. This has been going on for centuries. It's the way things used to happen before we had regulation come in place in the 1930s that were very good for that time, but given the advances in technology and where we are with our economies today, they don't really make sense. So this will solve a solution, and believe it or not, the ideas that turn out to be the best ideas, well, this will be an on-ramp to the VCs and the private equity that want to get into them.
I couldn't agree more, Sherwood. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us and your experience. We will continue to follow you. Just give us a few website URLs so we can tune in to your updates.
Okay, well, if you want to follow us, you can go to crowdfundcapitaladvisors.com, and that's advisors with an S. Twitter lead is at CrowdCapAdvisor. Crowdfunding Professional Association is the trade association. It's a global association, so I'd love for you to check that out. And if you want to see how we're working through the regulatory side of things in the U.S. with the SEC and FINRA, check out Crowdfund Intermediary Regulatory Advocates.
Merci beaucoup, Sherwood.
Merci.
À très bientôt.